Vanessa was last seen April 22nd, just before noon.
That's when I decided to start calling the base, and they told me that they hadn't seen her since
Breaking
about.
news in the Vanessa Guillen case. The attorney for her family confirms that authorities have positively identified partial remains.
So at this time, I want to take a moment of silence.
The family just didn't feel that they were making a complete, thorough investigation.
Say her name! Vanessa Guillen! Say her name! Vanessa Guillen!
And even though she has tragically died young, her legacy will be long-lasting.
We don't have a system in place that will provide for a woman like that to go and report.
She's not here no more. We're still fighting for justice. We're still gonna come out, whatever it takes to fight for justice.
We know she's watching us from heaven, and we know she is here, and she has ignited something inside each and every one of you to keep fighting for Vanessa Guillen.
My sister's not here today, but we are here. We are here, and I have a voice.
I was talking to clients on the phone, and one of the sexual violence survivors, one of the first questions that they would ask me is, have you heard about Vanessa Guillen? Have you heard about her story? Here's a young woman that I didn't know, but I knew her because I could imagine the fear that she was experiencing. And I could imagine her thinking, I may never be found. When she was found, I also thought about the continuum of sexual violence. I talked about how it starts with us raising boys differently than we raise girls. And I thought about the end of the continuum, which is rape and then murder.
We were the first ones to go out there to spread the word out and stuff. So as of today, even though we know that she's not here no more, we're still fighting for justice. We're still gonna come out, whatever it takes to fight for justice.
This has been sort of the Me Too movement for military women, and we have heard so many more stories, more people are coming forward.
I just want more people, more women, more men to talk and to speak up on sexual violence, because this doesn't just affect Latina women, it affects white women, black men, white men, everyone. Like really, there's so many people that go through this.
Military sexual assault is a problem. We need to make sure that we take care of it, and we need to make sure that nothing like what happened to Vanessa happens to another soldier again.
The Vanessa Guillen Act was signed on June 16th by Governor Abbott. The law is aimed to protect military members who report sexual harassment and sexual assault without fear of retaliation, lack of confidentiality, or concern that nothing will be done. High points for victims include filing a report with a coordinator outside of their chain of command, receive notice when the person accused has been notified, anonymously disclose suspect and incident information to help the Department of Defense identify repeat offenders, have a protective order filed on their behalf, and have their cases investigated by outside law enforcement agencies such as the Texas Rangers. These changes are a solid start to putting an end to the culture of harassment, assault, and retaliation in our state military forces. There's still more to be done. Those who serve our state and country deserve more when it comes to sex assault prevention and awareness.
The key thing is that we'll take the process out of the chain of command. I think that alone will make a huge difference in getting more women to come forward and telling their story. They know that it's not their superior.
Well, a lot of victims spoke up about their experience, and a lot of people started coming out about what they have gone through in the military with sexual harassment, and hopefully with the bill that's going to pass, we could put a stop to it, or
there's other ways to come about it with reporting it and coming out, so people will feel safe about coming out instead of being in fear that nothing is going to be done if they seek for help.
We lost a life. We lost a beautiful young soldier.
Pues yo qué puedo decir de mi hija, que fue una niña.
She was a beautiful daughter that was very loved by a lot of people, especially her family, and she was always motivated to do what's right, and she thought that the Army was for her, unfortunately did not knowing what actual ending it would have.
De que se va a hacer justicia por esa niña inocente.
She has a lot of faith in God, and that faith is what drives her to keep going, and she also has a lot of faith that because of that, justice will be served. And she does wear a lot of things because it just keeps her close to her, especially whatever was hers.
Porque era mi adoración, era mi vida.
Parents don't like admitting it, but they have their favorites, and that was hers because, you know, they were so similar. You know, it hurts her a lot that she signed up to serve for her country, yet this is the way that they pay her back. There's no type of justice.
Guillen was last seen April 22nd at Fort Hood. Her family says before she went missing, the 20-year-old told them she had been sexually harassed by a superior.
She's sad because the way that they did things, no one deserves that. Not even the worst criminal ever. They don't deserve to be treated the way that they did.
Era una niña pura y limpia. Yo sé porque soy su madre y la conocí.
She was only 20 years old, very innocent, very pure. She's asking for Congress.
Al presidente.
The president, President Biden himself.
Que así como dijeron que me iban a ayudar, yo no quiero que las palabras se las lleve al viento. Yo quiero hechos.
So since they promised to help, she doesn't just want it to be something in the media as where they're saying, you know, we're gonna help you, yet there's no action taken.
Every single day, still got the pain on my heart, you know. And they made me more sad when I see my wife Gloria or Mayra or any other, or my girls, my sons, like, you know, like sad, like not say nothing, but they cry. Maybe they cry inside.
We begin with breaking news.
After that day, you know, everything changed. Everything changed so bad. But it's still here, looking for, how do you say, a justice? Yeah, justice for my daughter. And for another ones too, later on in the future, another soldiers too.
Sometimes, you know, it seems like nothing happened, and I have to remind myself, like, hey, she's not here and you're doing this for a reason. I know she's looking down at us and she's proud of what's been happening, even though it had to be this way, unfortunately.
Could you have imagined almost 1 year later now that this case could have touched so many people and created basically a movement? Could you imagine that it had this much momentum back then by watching a TV and seeing it from there a year ago to now?
Yes, well, you know, our work is not finished. You know, we have just begun. I steered the ship, and thank God my clients have listened and believed in me and trusted me. And what I kept on saying was, this shouldn't just be about in Houston. We shouldn't just be walking around marching in Houston. This has to be a national and international issue. Follow my lead. Let's go to Congress. Let's make this a law. Let's make this legislation. Let's meet with the president. Let's meet with the secretary. Let's do this, because if we do this correctly, we will fix this injustice.
For us, when we hear of this, we're very touched and moved. And I wonder, in the work that you've done in this last year, have you seen and the response from other survivors? Have they called? Have they emailed? Have they come to marches and helped you with, you know, lobbying, etc.?
Yes. The good thing is the awareness has brought a lot of people from the woodworks out, and we're seeing that this is not, unfortunately, an isolated situation. This happens a lot, and I said enough is enough. You know, we just continue to see women and men being sexually harassed, sexually assaulted. They go to the military to serve our country. They go to take a bullet. They're not there to get sexually assaulted. There's no place in this world for sexual harassment and sexual assault. I think it's important for people to not be afraid to speak up. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying go speak up and put yourself in a position that perhaps puts you in harm's way, but go find an advocate, go find an attorney, go find someone that can help you get through this.
Your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece, your best friend, your sister. No más! No más! I said no más!
Our deepest gratitude to the Guillen family and to Ms. Kawam as they continue to fight for justice for Vanessa. Vanessa's story is the story of too many survivors, of fearing retaliation, of not being believed, and of not having a voice. As you just heard, Vanessa's death will not be in vain, but instead is a catalyst for change. For the thousands and thousands who have joined her movement from right here in Houston to beyond, your voice counts. Sexual violence does not have a place in our communities nor in our institutions. We must speak up and speak out, hold perpetrators accountable, and support survivors by letting them know it is not your fault, you did nothing to deserve this, and help is available.